Hey, how you doing guys? This is ZDEyE here. So today I wanted to have a more of an extended conversation regarding the very recent reveal, I should say, of the PlayStation 5 specs. Obviously this was not a PlayStation 5 itself, the reveal, but more of a inside of the PlayStation 5. Now, of course, there are some concerns regarding it that just it's kind of losing the steam for the consumers out there, because it seems like, and as everyone's saying anyway, well, I shouldn't say everyone, I should say majority of the people are saying that the Xbox Series X is currently winning. And yes, I agree to the 100% point. I'm not going to deny the fact that at the moment the consumer friendliness and the marketing wise is all about the Xbox. But of course that will change closer to summer that we get, of course, until we see the reveal of the PlayStation 5. It may end up being not that cool looking, but it will be, well, it'll have better games. That's already more or less confirmed. But still, that's not exactly just to dish out on the Xbox and saying that they're bad and they're going to be bad in a few months or so. No, I'm not saying that. It's just that I'm looking through these comments, people talking about it, YouTube videos and stuff, and giving their own thoughts and opinion. And again, this is my opinion as well, but I'm going to be clarifying in here too and talking about. Now, it's just that regarding that people were disappointed to see this kind of a conversation regarding the inside of the PlayStation. And this live stream, it wasn't live stream, it was more of a premiering video, wasn't exactly concentrated on the, for the consumer side of things for the PlayStation to make a purchase, if that incentivization is there or not. And clearly was not there for a lot of people. And why there were so many people, like, even in the comments and saying, in the chat, for example, they're like, a bunch of Z's, indicating it's just they're sleeping and it's boring conversations, and what's the point of that? Like, at one point they were having more than 650,000 viewers at one moment. It was insane. Now obviously it kind of increased and reduced in size during the presentation, but still this presentation alone was definitely concentrated mainly for the developers. It was not for us, not for the consumer, and that's the issue with this front. I personally think this would have been better to make it private, if that makes sense now, but still a lot of us would have been starving on the information regarding the PlayStation 5. And to be honest with you all, this conversation that Mark Cerny has been talking about, he already clarified a lot of things from the Wired back in 2019, I believe so. And he just went into much more deeper into the spec-wise of the conversation on what the PlayStation 5 will be able to achieve and will hold. But that's the thing. That's why a lot of people perhaps were not expecting to see this. Guys, we've seen the same exact thing done for the PlayStation 4 as well, right before its launch. Even I think it was in February, mind you, this time around though. But that's the thing. I don't understand why people were so disappointed to see this. Like, you should definitely keep your expectations on check if you would not know what to expect from this. And mind you, what we have seen wasn't exactly into everybody's comfort zone of the consoles that they perhaps would like to see. Basically what I'm trying to refer to, they would like to see how the console look, what's the price, what regions are going to be available, and of course the games including that coming for the PlayStation 5, and most of all, how the look of these games going to be improved, evolved, whatever the case. And performance as well on top of that. These things are not even shown off for the Xbox as well. Now, that, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it wasn't, because Xbox actually showed off the case of like a difference how quickly their SSD is capable of loading into the game compared to the Xbox One X as an example. And it's very, very quick, mind you. And so yes, that's cool. That's cool. It's very clever presentation for the consumers and to kind of understand in the simplest term, because what Sony did here, they didn't really give any of the kind of a presentation for the consumer eye, and I don't really think that they were even aiming for it. This, exactly like already mentioned, this is mainly for the developers, and I don't really think that we should have gotten this. Now, if we would have wanted to see something like this, I'm sure the people out there, I'm one of them, that were interested into this kind of a presentation. I even made a whole big video about it, like check it out, links down below in the description, and I made it yesterday. I took a little bit of time to creating it, but still, that sort of videos I actually do like to hear and see and to expect. Like, I understand a lot of people say this was more of a school presentation or showing off your project, and that's exactly more or less what it was. And again, I still think that's a big problem, not a good move to do for Sony, again, mind you, just because a lot of people are starving on the news of the PlayStation 5. They're expecting to see PlayStation 5 since Xbox did their turn of events completely different route, showing off their console back at the Game Awards 2019. That was insane, actually. It was never expected to be shown off back then. And now we even got an opportunity in seeing inside the Xbox and how that actually kind of dismantles, and then you can put it back all together and actually have a hands-on experience on the Xbox Series X as well, like Digital Foundry has done it too. Brilliant video, by the way. Check them out as well, guys. Now, that's just I never expected to see any of this sort of stuff for the PlayStation 5 in this presentation. I kind of already knew that we would have been seeing something much more of a deep dive into the interior of the PlayStation 5. As it says, the road on the PlayStation 5. It's not exactly what they're going to be showing off the console and the price point, like I already mentioned. I understand a lot of people are kind of annoyed by this, but again, you have to keep your expectations on check. I even mentioned in my 2 days ago video regarding the, what to expect from this. Like, I was hopeful, I was looking forward to some degree, of course. I'm not gonna say as if I definitely wasn't. I definitely was looking forward to some degree. Maybe perhaps they could showcase how quick is the loading screen, or perhaps they could even show off the PlayStation 5, the console itself, maybe the controller at least, maybe 1 or 2 games, who knows. But no, none of those things came into fruition, because I also never had my expectations on check. I was never disappointed by it. And so a lot of people are very pissed off about it. They're just saying Xbox One, blah blah blah, because they got even more powerful console. Again, that's not exactly the case, because it seems like PlayStation 5 is going to be more of a faster and agile console, more than the Xbox Series X. In fact, it's much faster console because of the SSD and how custom it is. But the Xbox Series X is more of a powerful console initially, of course. The raw power on that front is much stronger, yes, but not into the extreme degree. The only way for you to notice a big difference, if you analyze every single little thing from doing a comparison video, like you can definitely see and check on YouTube all over the place as well. Like Digital Foundry, they will do like a very big analysts and how big of a difference compared to what the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5. Now, of course, we'll have to wait for that until both of these consoles will launch. Again, there were no confirmations regarding the delay, because there's expected to be some kind of delay for at least one of them or both of these consoles. Seems like Xbox is good to go on the holiday of 2020. PlayStation 5 is still a little bit off-putting, but they seem to be confident about the holiday 2020, since they kind of already announced that the holiday 2020 will be the release of this console, the PlayStation 5. And anyway, I don't know how to expect this, and a lot of people it seems like they were disappointed by it. I completely understand. Again, expectations is the most important thing. They can really kill the game and the consoles, it seems so, of course. And yeah, that was perhaps the downfall for a lot of people, expecting something bigger out of this presentation. Well, anyway, I don't blame anyone. Still, a lot of people were starving under information, anything to do with the PlayStation 5. There has been so quiet for so long, and it kind of makes sense as well why so many people were somewhat at least disappointed by this presentation that Sony decided to go on. Well, at that, I think I will let you go now. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. Take a look at my yesterday's video regarding a full spec inside of the PlayStation 5. And yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Alright, I'll see you guys again, and have a good one.